So in this video, we are copying another idea of the First Man channel, and it is the straight 7 system. And we're going to be talking about how being average in most areas, or being above average, let's say, yeah, being above average, being a 7 in all areas of life, in many faculties of life, will make you like a 10 in the overall, rating of life. And here's how it works. Look, I'm at university, right? I'm at university right now. By the way, you have to see this. New microphone setup. Let's go. I put that shit on a toilet paper roll. So look, I'm at university, right? And people love to specialize. I don't know why. People love to specialize. A guy who's studying engineering loves to join the engineering club. They love that shit. The guy who's already doing business, already studying business, love to, join the business club. And of course, that is natural, right? Of course, people are going to be, inclined to do what they are interested in, different areas. In clubs, they want to do the same shit. In, studies, they want to do the same shit. It's all the more normal. But why don't you branch out? Why don't you branch out? Why don't you, develop yourself in multiple faculties? So here's the facts. How the straight 7 system works. Straight 7 system proposes that the average man, average male, or average person, you could say, average person is not a 5. You're going to say, how will that work? How is the average person not a 5? It should be 5 by definition, right? Well, no, look. Average person, if you were to put every single faculties, every single skill that they have in a, let's say, leaderboard, right? An average person is probably, let's say, an average person who went to university, who have been studying for a bit, who is around 30 years old. I'm not sure what the average age is. They are probably an 8 at one thing, right? They're probably an 8 at, let's say, medicine, right? They might be doctor. They're probably an 8 at, whatever, profession, whatever trade that they have going on for themselves. They'll be an 8 at that. But or a 9, let's say. But since they wanted to be an 8, they want to be a 9 at that area so much, the law of diminishing returns has fucked them over so badly. And the law of diminishing returns, well, we have to explain a lot of shit in this video, right? And the law of diminishing returns is this. If you know it, you can skip a minute. Law of diminishing returns is the law that states that after the point of putting in effort 50%, the outcome that you will get with that effort is going to fall. So it's going to be performing an X. The graph will be performing an X, right? The effort that you put in is this. How can I show this? I'll show this. This is my hand is the effort that you're putting in, right? And this pen is the outcome that you're getting. So it's going to look like this. You see how it forms an X? So the law of diminishing returns states this point. At the, 70, 80, 90%, 100% effort point, you'll be getting the least results. Why? Not least results, of course. The difference between 100% and 90% is going to be, indistinguishable. It's not going to be, a big difference between the guy who put 80% effort and guy who put 100% effort. That's the law of diminishing returns. So, having stated that, law of diminishing returns fucks over the people who specialize. That's one of the main points. And that's why, the guy who is an 8 overall or a 10 overall, you have to stick through the end of this video. This is really important stuff. I'm going to be giving that definitions a lot. So the guy who is going to be a, let's say 9 at, a faculty of engineering, let's say, electrical engineering or computer engineering, right? The guy who's a 9 at that will probably be amongst like 4 or 5 at other faculties of life, or 2. For example, a guy who studies computer science, I see many computer science students, I see many professionals in the area of computer science, in the area of, programming, or it doesn't have to be computer science, right? It could be any skill, any labor, any trade that you could think of, any professional, any people who are in the job market, any adults, or most students. They're going to have their one thing, right? A guy, for example, imagine a student who can play the guitar really well, right? You couldn't match them even if you want to. Who plays guitar incredibly. He plays guitar at a 9 level out of 10, right? Other areas of life of his will probably be like 3 or 4 out of 10. And this shit applies to every single person in the world. Almost every single person in the world. Especially, as we, mature, we are even deeper into our specialization. We are even deeper into our, trade. And that's why an average person, if you rounded up the numbers, if you found the sum and then divided it by all the, possible areas and find the, average, they will be probably like a 3 or 4. That's the interesting point. They will be probably like a 3 or 4. And you're going to decide what their point will be depending on which areas that you, like. For example, if you do not really care about what languages a person knows, you do not have to include that area in the, averaging out part. But that's besides the point. So the point is, an average person is probably like a 4 or a 3, not a 5. So having established that, the straight 7 system, having a 7 out of all the areas that you desire, makes you like a 10. Because you are unfound. You do not exist. You are incredibly rare. People like that are incredibly rare. So that's the point that we are coming to. If you apply the straight 7 system and, in different areas of life, in different faculties of life, you decide to be a 7 out of 10, you'll be a 10. If you have a 7 out of 10 body. Amongst gym goers, if you have a 7 out of 10 body, and, for example, in arts, if you are capable of 7 out of 10 arts, it could be music, it could be, drawing, painting, whatever else. If you're a 7 out of 10 in arts, if you're a 7 out of 10 in gym, fitness, if you're a 7 out of 10 in business, in finances, if you're a 7 out of 10 in, let's say, mental health, if you're a 7 out of 10 in intellectuality, overall, across the board, you're going to be a 10. And that should be really exciting news for you. That should be really exciting news for you, because nobody exists that are a 7 out of 10 in, a lot of faculties. Nobody exists that are like that. That is like that. And so that's why you should apply the straight 7 system. Across the board, you should, think of it as a game. Across the board, you should max out your stats and bring them to a 7 or 8 level. And if you have, things that you, really want to prioritize, for example, if you want your business skill to be, for example, if you want to prioritize business, if you want to prioritize finances, that's all the more natural. You're going to make it like an 8. And then maybe, for example, you have lost some sleep, so you haven't been recovering well, so your fitness point might go down like a 0.5 or 1 point. But you're still able to do that, and you're still able to keep up a baseline level of, straight 7s, straight 6s, And that's going to make you a really rare person, a really successful person. People will not understand. Look, right now I am working towards a straight 7 system in my life like this. And here's how you can work towards it too. Right now, I'm learning piano. I'm reading books on it. I'm actively practicing at least a few times a week. As long as I have the time. As long as the room is open, piano room. I'm practicing piano. in long term, that should put me at like a 7 out of 10 in, piano, right? Or a 6 maybe, I don't know. 6 will be, I will be grateful for 6. I'm practicing French. I have Turkish and English as like, I'm like a bilingual with those languages. I would say like English and Turkish, they're like my mother tongue. So I'm practicing French. If I get French to like a B1 level, I'm a 7, or if you probably rounded up the numbers, I'm like an 8 in languages. I'm going to the gym. As you can see, I'm going to the gym. And I'm working towards being like, out of all the gym goers, I'm working towards, gym is easy, right? After a certain point, gym is easy. So I'm working towards being like a 9 out of 10 body. So that's another thing. I'm in my finances, among students, I will rank like an 7 out of 10 already, but in life, I'm working towards improving my finances to like a incredible degree. So across board, if I round up the numbers, if I gather the numbers, my social ability, I will say like it's close to a 7 out of 10, I believe, or more than a 7 out of 10. If you're again comparing it against others, it would be probably more than a 7 out of 10. I know, and my mental health, it would be like 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. So straight 7 system would, in a few years time, in like, let's say, do not be egotistical about this, let's say 5 or 10 years time, when I've achieved the straight 7 system and beyond, I should be like a 10, and you should be too. Applying the straight 7 system, you're probably going to be a 10 in like 5 to 10 years time. And that's exciting. I know I went on a lot of tirades, a lot of tangents in this video. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this video is fully off the dome, no script, no nothing. Celebrating the new microphone. Thank you for watching. The views are up again. I thank y'all for that, and see y'all another one. Make sure to like, subscribe, and write in comments. Tell me what you think. The norm is specialization, of course, and I understand that. So, let's argue, let's debate, and thank you for watching. Peace.